What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It is the only sports podcast. That's right, the only sports podcast. I'm Will. That's Casino over there. How we doing today, Casino?
Doing pretty good. A little tired. One of our buddies had his birthday last night, and we went out. You were missed.
Yeah, I was working. And I forgot this week it's EDC week, so we're just dead. We got nothing.
Dude,
there's nothing.
Just so dead.
Yeah.
Anywhere and everywhere is just gonna be just crawling, dude. Nothing's happening.
Yeah. But what is happening, Casino, is one of the best days of the year. It is NFL schedule release. The takes are hot. Yeah. The takes are hot. The dumbest things I've ever seen are usually within this week, where it's just like, oh, it's apparently, from what I've seen, every single team is going to be good this year. Every single team, Casino.
Every team.
Doesn't matter.
Yep.
Every person I see talking about their schedule are just like, oh, we're a playoff team this year. And it's like, really? Did you guys see
I'm looking
what you
at
were last year?
I'm looking at the Patriots schedule. I'm like, well, yeah, it'll be fun.
What is it?
I think the Pats still have an okay to like have a decent record, like a Mike Tomlin record, but nothing crazy.
Well, let's first start with the first thing on the menu today, which is, if I can find this. No, here we go. This was the first thing that got released when it came to, when it came before the official schedule release. Whoa, if I could do that. So this is strength of schedule rankings based on just what the teams did last year. So now we do this every year. We always have the presumption of what we think teams are going to be based on what happened last year, offseason, win record, who they play, time traveled, all that kind of stuff. So when it comes to the strength of schedule ranking, Casino, obviously we're going to talk about our teams, but outside of our teams, what sticks out to you the most?
Oh man. I don't know. I think it's fairly okay. Yeah, I don't know. What sticks out to you? I guess I'm missing it.
Well, to me, it's that in the entire NFL, the Chicago Bears have the hardest schedule. And I feel like if we would have ended last year just being like, who's the hot team going into next year?
Yeah, but that never matters. Look, like Miami Dolphins and Arizona Cardinals, dude, they're 2-3. That might just be because they suck. I mean, that's a big portion of it. So every team is tough, but yeah, I don't know.
Well, it's also because, see, with the reason I think the Bears stick out the most is because the Dolphins and the Cardinals are in those two positions because of who is in their conference, or I'm sorry, who is in their division. So with the Dolphins, you obviously have the Patriots who just went to the Super Bowl. You have the Bills who seem like they're in the AFC Championship every year. And then you have, the New York Jets, but, two good teams in your division that are perennial Super Bowl favorites, at least recently. Like, that's why the Dolphins are there. The Cardinals are there because they're in probably the hardest division in sports, which is in the NFC West with the 49ers, with the Seahawks, with the Rams. So I get why the Dolphins and Cardinals are in here. But as far as it goes with the Bears, Packers...
Packers, I would say that's when I'm most surprised. Like, I feel like, you know what? I feel like Packers, even though it says they got a hard schedule, I feel like they're going to be okay.
Well, what I don't understand is Bears, because see, you can make the case with it's like Dolphins, Cardinals. Everybody in the NFC West is going to have a hard schedule because of who they play and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
You can make the same case for the Bears and the Packers until you look at the Detroit Lions all the way down here. And they're what I think I made this to. Oh, there we go. Yeah, outside of those top two teams for the Detroit Lions, they have the sixth easiest. So then you go, well, how hard is the Bears schedule, which we're going to look at in a second. But other than that, I mean, I have already seen, I don't want to say, I want to say 7 people picking the Bengals to go to the Super Bowl because they have the third easiest schedule.
Dude,
Like it's how
not a
many years
thing.
are we going to do this with the Bengals? How
They
many
might
years?
make the playoffs. They might make the playoffs because of it. Like, I mean, that's a potential, but I would not throw them into winning the Super Bowl. There's just no way.
No, and also a little bit later in the show, we're going to reveal the first Super Bowl bubble of the year, the schedule release version, and then I'll do one before the preseason starts, one after the preseason, and then after that, it's every 4 weeks, I think.
Mhm.
So right now, I have 12 teams, and I tried to keep it 6 from the AFC, 6 in the NFC, but I think I have more AFC teams than I do NFC teams. So when you're looking at this, I think everybody's sleeper picks this year for teams, I would say, are probably right in this window right here, where you go hearing a lot of buzz about the Saints. I'm already hearing a lot of Bengals to the Super Bowl. Obviously, the Colts were the highest scoring offense in NFL history last year or on pace to be until Daniel Jones got hurt. Then you go Atlanta Falcons. Who knows? Every year I feel like they're picked to be the NFC dark horse and they just never go to it.
Yeah, I won't pick them this year.
No, I won't either. And then Detroit Lions, Houston Texans, Titans are supposed to be good. Ravens, Eagles, Jags, Tampa. I feel like right there. Again, this color me biased as an Eagles fan. I do not get the hype with the Cowboys at all. Like, I legitimately see people just being like, well, they killed the draft, so they're a Super Bowl contender. And then it's like,
Those
they gotta
players still have to play. We still have to see them play in the NFL.
well, they also
we
got
talked
an
about it.
edge rusher and a safety. We've seen this team with a better all elite pass rusher. It didn't help them. So now it's like, well, they just got a safety and a worse pass rusher than Micah Parsons. Like, they're going to the Super Bowl. And it's like, they had that already. What? This is the same team. I don't
then they weren't able
to
to pay the rest of their players that they wanted. So, I mean,
true.
but
remember the whole thing
I'm
was
knocking
they didn't
them.
sign
I'm knocking
anybody.
them for that. I'm knocking them for that. You know, they spend so much money on so few players, and then then you have to just hope that this draft pick is going to work out for you.
Yeah, and then they didn't spend anything in free agency, and it's just, I don't know. It just is so weird to me. But again, it's the Cowboys, whatever. But what were you going to say, Casino?
I don't remember.
The other ones I feel like we got to talk about. The one that I feel like is the team that I think is the biggest mystery this year is the Kansas City Chiefs.
They're going to have a tough one, dude.
The whole thing in the offseason was Kansas City Chiefs never has Patrick Mahomes had a running game, all that kind of stuff. He's never had, I think, a top 15 rushing attack. But then again, everybody just leaves out the fact that Andy Reid has always been like that. Even when he was with the Eagles, it's like he didn't focus that much on rushing attack. He always just had his running backs just catch a lot of balls out of the backfield. That's what Brian Westbrook was like the best at. But you look at what the Chiefs were last year. They were 6-11. And again, you look at some of the other teams that are around that mark and you just go, oh, injuries. Oh, this thing. Chiefs were fully healthy, no big injuries. There's nothing that you can say to convince me where it's just like, oh yeah, the Chiefs last year was just a blip on the radar and they'll just be right back to the Super Bowl.
No,
It's like, what
I
happened?
they're not.
It's
That's not going to be the case. I mean, we know that division's good, right? And so I knew you're going to bring this up. I knew you were going to bring up the Kansas City Chiefs. So they start off the season, right? They start off the season with the Broncos. Yes, they're playing at home, but that's still going to be a tough game, right?
yeah.
We've seen that last year that the Chiefs aren't the Chiefs of old. You got older players on that team. You got some players that aren't really panning out that well. And you could just see a little bit more decline, right, with them. And so that's not a gimme. If the Colts come back, right, and all of a sudden they just are back to where they were with that high-powered offense, who knows? Then they got a couple easies, Dolphins, Raiders. Yes, the Raiders, we're all hyped up to see what Mendoza can do, but yeah, whatever. In division, Chargers, I know how we feel about Mr. If, but it's in division, right? Then they go to the Seahawks and they go to the Broncos. Then they have the Jets, Falcons, Cardinals, which is pretty easy, right? That's gonna be the easiest part of their season there. But then they go on the road to the Bills against Josh Allen, go on the road against Matt Stafford in LA, go on the road to Joe Burrow. Yes, it's the Bengals, but playing in Cincinnati, if Joe Burrow is healthy at that time, we'll see. And it's December 13th. That's a tough one just because you're playing Joe Burrow. They'll put up points, right? We'll have to see what the Chiefs defense do. And then, not saying the Patriots are going to be this great team again, but then you have the Patriots with Drake May. Then you have Brock Purdy with the Niners after that. And then you go back to the Chargers. Like this team, like the Chiefs don't have really an easy schedule, right? They have really good quarterbacks or quarterbacks that have proven themselves at some point in their career and a lot of tough road games. So
Yeah.
this is not going to be easy for them. Everybody's saying that, just pencil them in. I mean, I'll tell you right now, if they make the playoffs and not being a wild card and they win the division somehow, you know what? Hats off to them because that's going to be a tall order with what they got to do. But I don't see it. Dare I say, with the schedule they have this year, they're going to miss the playoffs again.
I could also see that because it's one of those things where we go, oh, like kind of we're having the yearly GOAT debate argument when it comes to LeBron and Michael Jordan. And you go, well, this player did this player never did this. And that's how you make the comparisons. With Patrick Mahomes winning what, 3 Super Bowls? No, he's won 4. No, he's won 3. Once against the Eagles, twice against the 49ers. That's it, right? Yeah, he's won 3. So you always hear the arguments where it's like, oh, well, Patrick Mahomes was on his way to being the GOAT, but Tom Brady never lost in a blowout to a Super Bowl. And also Tom Brady never missed the playoffs in his prime, right?
Yeah.
Like fully healthy in his prime, never missed the playoffs. Mahomes not only missed the playoffs, but had a 6-11 record last year, which is, again, it's crazy to think that they finish the season on a 6-game losing streak and then just nothing.
This is how I see this season going.
Like it didn't happen.
This is how I'm going to see the season going for the Chiefs, really. So out of their first 7, right? So they got the Broncos twice. They're getting that, in division games out pretty quick. So they'll play the Broncos twice, the Colts, the Dolphins, the Raiders, the Chargers, and the Seahawks on the road there. So honestly, they could possibly be 3-4. Like there's a good chance they could be 3-4, but then here's what it's going to happen. Then they're going to rattle off 3 straight. They're going to beat the Jets. They're going to beat the Falcons. They're going to beat the Cardinals. And then you're just like, no, here they're on a streak. But then they have to go into Buffalo, go into LA, go into Cincinnati. And then, again, back that up. Yes, you're back at home, but then you have to play the Patriots and the Niners, who have good quarterbacks, right? And good coaches. Whether the teams are good or not, like you still have to prepare for them. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like this is gonna be a very interesting one for them.
Yeah, I don't. When you just look at when you just look at their schedule just as a whole, you just go, man, I can't see it. Like I really can't. It just seems like one of those things where everybody's just going to be like,
hats off.
Oh, yeah. But it's one of those things where everybody just goes, oh, well, it's the Chiefs, it's Andy Reid, it's Mahomes, all this kind of stuff. And then it's just like, yeah, all those things were in place last year. Like all of the things you use as well, it's this, well, it's that, well, it's this. It's like, yeah, those were all on the team last year that went 6-11. Like the only thing, this is the thing that annoys the ever loving shit out of me is you always hear people just being like, well, they got Kenneth Walker. And then it's like, okay, does Kenneth Walker equate to 5 wins? Like, it's like,
Well, they think so
one,
just because he won, just because he balled out, right?
but
In the
it's
Super
one of
Bowl.
those,
So
but it's one of those things where if Kenneth Walker was out for a game and the game was about to be played, and then let's say he's a late, oh, he can't play in this game, the line on that game would move by a half a point. It's not like all of a sudden that game would drop by 7.5 points. That's my whole thing. That's kind of the thinking I've come around to on the AJ Brown thing, where I just go, last year with the Eagles, every good AJ Brown game we lost. So this thing where it's like, well, AJ Brown's going to leave and the Eagles are going to fall apart. And it's like every time he was on the field balling out, we lost.
well, I mean,
So
hey,
it's
that's
like,
kind of like think of that as like the James Harden situation, right? Those
yeah.
nights when he would put up 40 to 50 points, there's a lot of those times they lost those games.
So yeah, it becomes one of those things where this is also the argument I made about the Cowboys, where I saw that one insane person, I think it was on CBS Sports or whatever, be like, they drafted an edge rusher and a safety in the first round. Before this, I had the Cowboys going to the playoffs. Now I have them going to the Super Bowl. It's like,
Cowboy,
what?
It's the same.
What?
We can't look into that until the Cowboys actually go back to the Super Bowl. I mean, not even win one, just go back to one. It's just going to be the same bullshit. It's worse than the Patriots. It's worse than the Chiefs, right? Because Cowboys, like every year you hear them, oh, they're going back, even if they're bad, right? Even if they're bad. Like when the Patriots lost Brady and Belichick and everything, it was like, okay, here we go. Like they knew that they were going to be bad, but for some reason, always for the Cowboys, they got a shot. They have a real shot.
It's just, I don't know. It's so weird. Somebody says, hi, can you talk about the 49ers? So, Ryan McMahon, let's talk about the 49ers.
Niners.
Well, the 49ers are one of those interesting teams where last year it was super impressive what they did.
Oh my gosh, was it? I mean, you gave him a compliment, which is high praise.
I hate the 49ers. Sorry, Ryan McMahon. And what is it? I hate the 49ers and I still give them praise for how good they did last year. And it's just one of those things where now we're looking at the 49ers. The thing that's going to stop the 49ers, I think, from being a great team this year is not only do they start the season rough, but they are in a rough division because they start the season going to Australia. And then I don't know. Again, we do that thing every year where, the analytics nerds and the numbers nerds do the thing where they just go, oh, the teams that travel the most, like, never make the playoffs. Like, that's just a fact that nobody ever wants to talk about. It's like the most yards traveled team is always just way more beat up and never Super Bowl contenders. So the 49ers, I have them in my Super Bowl bubble, but this schedule, again, it's easy, I feel like, on paper, but then when you look at it, it's just, I mean, they play, again, a murder's row of a division, and then they play a bunch of teams where you just go, I mean, they're playing the Chargers, they're playing the Chiefs, they're playing the Eagles, they're playing the Falcons, who could potentially be good, they're playing the Broncos. Like, they're out of division games that are, let's say, quote unquote, easy, are what? Dolphins, and I don't know how well you think the Commanders or Giants are going to be this year,
right.
But then it's like Raiders, Dolphins, and that's kind of it. Like, other than that, they're playing like some of the best teams in the NFL. So it's just one of those things.
Here's the thing. Like, I mean, they're getting we're going to have to see what they do in the first. They have to put up some wins in the first half of the season because they're front loaded with home games, right? They're front loaded with home games. I don't know if you saw that. Like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 of their first 9 are at home. So 7 of their first 11 are at home, and then they hit the road, and they don't look back. So like it's a lot it's a lot for them. But yeah, they're playing some tough teams. I mean, they're in the hardest division. And yeah, what they did last year was impressive, but it is still going to be a tall order, right? I mean, you have McCaffrey, right? The last year, somehow, miracle, he pretty much stayed the whole season, which was wild, right? Which was
Yeah.
wild. And that's pretty much was what their saving grace was, is they just went back to the old ways was, and before Kittle got hurt, it was Kittle, McCaffrey, Kittle, McCaffrey, Kittle, McCaffrey. It's just like
But
bang,
that's
bang,
the
bang.
thing. It's just like every year, especially with the 49ers, you just go, well, Brock Purdy has had an injury history. Kittle's had an injury history, and McCaffrey's had an injury history. So I feel like every single time you talk about the 49ers, you just have to go, well, also if none of their players get injured. It's like also they signed Mike Evans, who is just coming off an injury plague season. So it's like if the San Francisco 49ers can stay healthy, they're always a good team. But as we've seen evidence by last year and a lot of those years with the Kyle Shanahan teams where they just go, they're always limping to the finish line just with this hodgepodge of just random people on their team. And yes, they're good enough to win a playoff game as they did last year, but I don't know if this team is good enough or deep enough to go to the Super Bowl. Like, so I would still
That's my
say
issue. That's
Yeah.
where I can't see him doing it.
Yeah, and again, their strength of schedule, if we're going to take that just as gospel and just look at the strength of schedule right now without dissecting it too much, it's like they're kind of middle of the road. So they're kind of right teetering on that edge where you just go, oh, their schedule's favorable. It's hard. I don't know. Like,
But at some point, like, yes, they're going to be playing the Seahawks and the Rams twice, right? They play them twice. There's most likely you're going to see one, if not two, of them again in the playoffs. Like,
oh, that's true.
dude,
Yeah.
like that is a tough order to do, right? Remember last year, it was basically whoever got home field advantage between the Seahawks or the Rams was going to the Super Bowl, and that's why that whole weird 2-point conversion thing was so pivotal in how the rest of the season played out. I mean, whoever got from that side was gonna take care of the Patriots in general, but still, like it's wild, right?
Yeah. Well, it's also one of those things where that's a great point where you just go, yeah, the 49ers, again, are one of the best teams in the NFC. The issue is two of the better teams in the NFC are in their own division. So it's one of those things where you go, yeah, I like everything the 49ers have on offense and defense. I don't like them more than the Seahawks or the Rams, which again, they're going to have to play, like you said, minimum 4 times, or not minimum 4, or yeah, minimum 4 times and a potential 5th time, potential 6th time, because again, all 3 of these teams could make the playoffs again. And who knows, 2 of them could be playing in the wild card, and then the next one advances to play the final team in the 3rd round. But yeah, now, Casino, let's talk about your New England Patriots, because it has been revealed the first game, week 1, regular season, will be September 9th, 5:20 NBC. Your Patriots traveling to Seattle in a Super Bowl rematch. First, do you like when the first game of the season is a Super Bowl rematch?
I don't.
I don't either.
Never liked it, never will like it, and it's nothing to do with because it's my team, right? Just I don't like how nobody wants to see it. We've already seen it. Don't bring it back. Like at some point, sure, have them play again, right? But I don't like the rematch right away.
I don't like the rematch as the first game we see of the regular season, because it's like this was the last game we already got. Give us some space and distance between this. Like,
but I mean, it's the reason it happened is, as Colin Cowherd put it, the NFL wants theirs. They want to get theirs. This whole Vrabel thing, they want. How can he bounce if he is the coach, right, at week 1? How can he bounce back? What can he do with this team? Did it rattle them? Ooh, let's check it out. They're doing it because it's going to put ratings on the TV. That I mean, I would Seahawks, Rams, first game. Let's go. Start the season off where it is do or die. Basically, obviously it came down last year to home field advantage was pretty much off the tie break. So it's like, figure it out, dude. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Yeah. I don't what is it?
They're going to do it. They want to do it because of the Mike Vrabel thing, and it makes sense. Like they're going to make money off of it. They're going to get the ratings. They're going to be talking about it. I mean, they should be talking about it, right? But we'll see because the media hasn't talked much about it. So we'll see if they even bring it up. But people will know, right? People will know. And eyes will be on and be like, oh, Vrabel, first game of the season. We'll see.
Honestly, I'm kind of shocked. If I would have had to put money on what I thought would be the first game of the season, I would have said Patriots Seahawks would have been like my fifth pick. I really thought when you looked at who the Seahawks played this year, I really thought it was going to be Seahawks Bears. I thought
Me too.
that was going
I
to
thought that
be.
would have been a great home opener.
And it's also one of those things where the Bears were kind of the most exciting team last year. Obviously, Seahawks won the Super Bowl, so they have to play week one. And it just seems, I don't know, that just seems like a matchup that would have gotten people excited.
I
Would have been
wanted
a
to see
thing like,
that. I mean, that would
we
have been
didn't
a
get to
great
see this
game.
in the playoffs. Yeah. I
Bears
also,
Bears have the hardest schedule, right? So let's see
yeah,
what they can do. Let's see if
that's
they're
what I'm
legit or
saying.
not.
I also thought it would have been a divisional game where we would have saw Seahawks Rams again because those games were so good last year. Obviously Seahawks 49ers was also an option, but also there is this thing they keep doing, and by they I mean the NFL schedule makers the past couple of years that annoys the ever loving shit out of me, which is they did it last year, they're doing this year again, never more evident by the Seahawks schedule, where you look at their schedule and you go, oh, week 16, Rams Seahawks. Week 17, Seahawks Panthers. Week 18, Seahawks Rams. Why do they do this thing now where they just put divisional games against the same opponent within 3 weeks of each other? Why is this the new thing? I feel like, again, you play the same team 2 times a year. Why would you not go, hey, we're going to play that team in weeks 1 through 6, and then we're going to play that team in weeks 15 through 18? Like, it's just one of those things where you just go, I don't understand. I don't understand. Why do we want this? And again, like you said, we then got this matchup in the playoffs again. So if it plays out the same way it does next year, which we both think the Rams and Seahawks are going to be playoff caliber teams,
Oh yeah.
we're potentially getting week 16, the same matchup week 18, the same matchup week 20. Like, why? They just don't want any variety whatsoever. That's just so
No, they
weird to
just
me.
want them to go at it.
Especially when, again, you look at the Seahawks schedule, there's a lot of interesting matchups on here with how good that defense is, where they're playing like top tier teams or quarterbacks, like Patriots, like the Chargers, like the Chiefs, like the Broncos, like the Bears. Like, there's some good matchups here. And to just be like, oh, yeah, we're just going to front load all those. So at the end, it's just them playing division games. It's like, why do we schedule like this? Why is this a thing? Also, I want to see, as an Eagles fan, which we'll talk about our teams in a second, as an Eagles fan, I want to see what my team looks like against the Cowboys in week 3, and then how that game is different from like a week 15 matchup with the Cowboys. I don't want to play the Cowboys in week 3 and week 5. Like, it
Right.
makes no sense to me. But now let's talk about your team, Casino, because last year, the big talk last year was they had the 5th easiest schedule in the league. Obviously, that and a couple other things led them to the Super Bowl. This year, they have now the 6th hardest schedule in the league.
I think it might be a little bit more than that. And I say that just because the road games. Like the
Yeah.
road games are what's going to be tough, right? So they have to play the Seahawks on the road, Jags on the road, obviously Bills on the road, but then Bears on the road, Chargers, Lions on the road, KC on the road. Yeah, like that's shitty, dude. Like they're at home games, Steelers, right? So I don't trust Aaron Rodgers, right? So if he comes back to that team. So
well, yeah, we don't even know if he's on the team now.
So they have these are their home games: Steelers, Raiders, Jets, Packers, which might be an okay one. Obviously, they have the Bills, then they have the Vikings, and obviously the Jets, and they have the Broncos at home. So, I mean, a couple of them are decent teams, but for the most part, that's just in division easy shit, right? Like
Yeah.
this is it. It's gonna be tough, and we're gonna have to that whole road warrior thing that the Patriots had, the whole mentality last year. Warrior, like you gotta tap, like you have to tap into that shit hard because this is gonna be a real tough thing. Um, and again, do I think the Pats have chances to beat the Bears and beat the Lions? Yeah, and like the Jags, like do they? I think that personnel wise, like they're going to be pretty even with them. But the issue is you don't get to play those on your turf. So
Mhm.
like that's to me the biggest downfall for the Patriots this year is going to be that away schedule and almost all the tough teams that you have to play, you have to do on the road.
Well, also, this is one of those things we talked about when we were like previewing the schedule release, which is just, I was curious to see how the NFL would help or hurt your Patriots in terms of there's already been calls for, oh, well, what if, Mike Vrabel lost the locker room? What if it's one of those things where team starts out bad and then it's like he should have been let go, like he should step down, all that kind of stuff because of the Diana Rossini controversy we've obviously covered on the show. So you look at this Patriots team and you just go, week one, not a gimme against the Seahawks at all. Yeah. Steelers, I think Rodgers or not, that is a much more winnable game, obviously. But then after that, you just go, man, Patriots, Bills, Raiders, Jets, Bears. So
Jaguars, Bills, Raiders, Jets, Bears.
yeah. So if you start 1-1 and then let's say you lose to the Jaguars and Bills and then Raiders, Jets, Patriots, I could still see this team, and then let's even throw the Dolphins in there too. I could see this team being like 4-4. And if you're 4-4 going into a week 9 matchup against the Packers, I feel like people would be like, we're okay. Right? Like, I feel like that would be one of those things where you just go, well, he obviously hasn't lost the locker room. We knew this team wouldn't be as good last year based on like schedule and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I thought there was a real possibility. Because again, like you said, you guys play Chiefs, Lions, Packers, Chargers. Like, if that would have just been a murderer's row the first 8 weeks, where it's like, dude, your team could potentially be 1-7. Like, then
Yeah.
it would be one of those things where it would be like, I think they're trying to, like fuck over not only the Patriots, but specifically Mike Vrabel for just being like
100% over all this. Yeah, there's no
yeah.
doubt.
So
This
I
is
thought
because they're not going to like
easy.
go straight out and punish him, but this is his punishment.
Yeah. Well, also, I do think, like you said, I haven't heard that many people talk about it, where it's just like the biggest story this offseason has been the Rossini Vrabel thing, which has made the NFL look bad, right? Like there's no way it didn't make them look good. So the only possible reason is it didn't make them look like anything or it made them look bad. So with all that bad to non-controversy, whatever, it's not a good look, obviously. It's weird to me that they start the season with the Patriots and Seahawks in a standalone first primetime game, because how the hell is that not a thing that's not brought up on the broadcast?
I don't know,
Like,
man.
it seems just so, again, and then we went through the Seahawks schedule and it's like there was 6 to 7 other teams on their schedule where I feel like if that was the week 1 matchup, everybody would be super stoked about it. Like, it's like not like last year where, remember, it was like Eagles Cowboys and then I was kind of just like, it's just kind of, it's like the chalk pick. Like, if it would have been Seahawks Rams, everybody would have been like, like, I mean, yeah, those are good games, but it's just a chalk pick. Like, give me an interesting matchup we haven't seen before between like the Super Bowl champion and an interesting team. That's why I thought it was going to be Seahawks Bears all day. But now let's talk about
that would have been the right call.
Especially with how the Bears season ended. They had that game in Green Bay that everybody was losing their mind over.
I lost my mind over that shit.
Yeah, they seemed like the most exciting team coming into this season. Now let's talk about my team, Casino. Actually, no, before we do that, here's some fun facts about this schedule this year. I don't know if you heard this or not, Casino, but this year the NFL is going to play 9 Let me repeat that. 9 international regular season games in 7 different foreign countries. So those games are 3 of the games will be in London, week 4, 5, and 6. The others, there's the Melbourne week 1 matchup we talked about with the Rams and the 49ers. Week 3 in Rio de Janeiro, week 7 in Paris, week 9 in Madrid, week 10 in Munich, and week 11 in Mexico City.
I hate it, dude.
I hate it
What are you
too.
doing to the league, man?
It's, dude, that and how many like, oh, let's put games on Friday. Let's put games on Saturday. We're like 3 years away from them just being like, we're actually putting games every single day of the week. And then we're just going to schedule to where, everybody plays on a one Tuesday game, one Thursday game, one Wednesday game. It's getting, I hate it. I hate it. But thoughts on just the never ending expansion of international games?
No, it's horrible for the team. It's horrible for their bodies. Like, dude, I understand the NFL wants to make money. They want to get theirs, right? They want, and there might be a part of them where they want to spread the NFL into other countries and make more money off of them that way, but also get more fans and blah 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 before more money, right? It all comes back to money. But it's not feasible, right? You're going to add more games. You're going to hurt your players. Like, you don't want your superstars getting injured, because then people don't watch. People don't care. I mean, people will still watch games, but I'll tell you, when the Niners had almost all of their players, like my buddy who's a Niners fan, he was like, yeah, I'm going to still watch the game, this and that. But I mean, you have 90% of our team out. Like, my 3 jerseys that I have, my players aren't playing. Like, it sucks. And a lot of that is because they're not taking care of the actual players, man.
Well, that also,
what they say.
Well, that also, Ryan McMahon's comment earlier where he asked if we could talk about the Niners. That's the thing we didn't bring up, which is they're one of the only 2 teams. It's them and the Jaguars who play multiple overseas games. So the 49ers go to Australia and Mexico, and then the Jaguars play in London twice. The Jaguars might be the only team that this doesn't affect just because they always do it.
The Jaguars to London, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
At this point, just move them there. They play in London every year.
Yeah. Honestly, what I would do if I was the NFL, I would move the Jaguars to London. I would have their home games for half the season. Again, because we have 9 regular season games. So that means half the weeks there's international games. You would have, you would have the Jaguars in London. All of their home games would be in London, right? So it would be like teams going over there once a week to play a London game. That could count as an international game. Then you have their road games. That's when you have it be like, oh, well, they're going to Mexico. They're going to Rio de Janeiro. They're going to here. They're going to here. So you have the Jaguars in London as the international representative of, what the NFL wants to do, and then just make all the road games, all the other international games. So it's like, hey, you better like the Jaguars because they're our overseas transplant team. It's like,
but it sucks for any team or any people who have season tickets. Dude, those prices don't get any lower, right? They're still paying the same amount, but you lose an entire fucking game.
Yeah, it's
bullshit.
No, it's one of those. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's again, it's just for money, but I hate it, and there's nothing we can do about it. There's literally nothing we can do. No. What are we going to do to stop these overseas games, which again, not only hurt, I think, the NFL product here, but it also is one of those things where you look at the schedule this year and it's just like, okay, we're adding more games to Thanksgiving. Now we're adding Christmas games. Now we're adding New Year's and New Year's Eve, or New Year's Eve and New Year's games. Now we're starting games earlier. So if you're on the West Coast, these games start at 6 a.m. So it's like the NFL really wants to monopolize your time to the point where it's just like, I'm going to just have to stop watching some games that if they were just on regular times, games on Mondays and Sundays, I would make sure to watch them all. But this thing where it's like, now we've added Thursday games. Now we've added Saturday games. Now we've added an early Sunday morning game. It's just like, it's too much. Guys, it's
I
too
haven't yet,
much.
even if it's my team, I've never woken up early to watch those games. Those
No,
overseas
or
games.
I plan to, and then my alarm goes off at 6 a.m. and I just go, oh, I'm just going back to bed. And then I wake up at 9 or 10 for the rest of the games. It's like,
Yeah,
even with kids,
and even
like kids'
here's the thing,
jobs, all that kind of stuff.
like even if you're over in the East Coast, right? That game is still starting at 9. That's still earlier than what the West Coast early games start at.
Yeah. Well,
You
yeah,
know, like that's still an hour earlier than what we get the privilege of on the West Coast to get better, in our opinion, better slot times for games and everything, so they don't go super late into the night. But again, that's still an hour earlier for East Coast people, man.
Yeah. Honestly, looking at the international games, the one thing I'm shocked by is there's not a game in Saudi Arabia. That's legitimately I'm shocked by. You look at everything. Like, I mean, Live Golf is just falling apart from wasting Saudi money and all that kind of stuff, or the Saudis wasting money on that. But it's like WWE, which I'm a fan of, is just now, it seems like every other pay-per-view is just taking place in Saudi Arabia. Next year, it's going to be WrestleMania. It's just like, they have so much money. I am shocked the NFL wasn't like, oh, we can do, because they could totally justify it by just being like, we're trying to grow the game internationally. The two teams that played in Saudi Arabia just get a bye week the week after. So it's like, that's how they do it. Also, this thing I'm starting to get annoyed with. Remember before when it was like, we're doing three international games. They're all in London. Then we expanded to Germany. It was always, when you go on the international game, your bye week is the week after that.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's like, we're trying to mitigate the effects of traveling that much, flying, all that kind of stuff. Now they just go, oh, well, 49ers, you guys can play on Friday and then you won't have to play till the following Sunday. And then it's just like, that's not the same thing. That's not the same thing as being like, you guys get a bye week to account for all the extra travel, especially going to Australia. That's like what? From San Francisco, that's like a 15-hour flight. Like, it's not like we're flying to the West Coast and it's going to be 5 hours. Like, this is almost a full day of travel there and back. And again,
so much sitting.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Even as a 49ers hater, like, I would never wish that on any NFL team, where it's just like, all right, first game of the season, travel there for an hour, get your ass kicked or kick some ass, and then travel back for an hour and then get ready for the next game. Yeah. And then get ready for the next game we have in 6 days. Like, that's crazy. So the other things we have to talk about: who plays the most Sunday night games? Cowboys, this may shock you, have the most Sunday night games with 3 appearances. And the other ones who have 2 are my team, your team. So Eagles, Patriots, 49ers, Steelers, Packers, Lions, and Vikings. That seems kind of right.
Yeah. I just don't understand. You said Packers,
Lions, Bears, Vikings,
and okay.
No Bears. Bears only have 1, which is shocking that the Vikings have 2 and the Bears only have 1. I would switch those. So that easily. I agree with. And then obviously Cowboys.
Who really wants to see a quarterback, quarterback scrum between Kyler Murray and 9? Ugh. I'll tell you, I don't.
Who plays the most Monday night games? It's the Eagles and Chiefs. So, but again, they only have 2. So both of them have 2 appearances. Bills and Rams also have 2. Where they play each other. And then the most Thursday night games: Packers, your Patriots, Ravens, Texans, Steelers, Broncos have 2, and then everybody else has 1. The only people who do not have, I wanted to see this. Where did that go? The least. These are the teams that play in the least primetime games. See if you can see a trend going on here, Casino. Cardinals, Dolphins, Jets, Titans, and Raiders. So those are 5 of the 6 teams with the worst consensus odds to win the Super Bowl. None of those teams play a standalone game. That's crazy. None of those teams play a standalone
Be
primetime game
better.
this year. I think they might all have one Monday Night Football game, but
Be
that I'm not sure of.
better.
Let's see. I'm looking at Yahoo Sports. None of those teams will be playing under the lights during the 2026 season, barring a shocking development of late flex scheduling. Somehow the Browns got one night game, a week 4 Thursday night game against the Steelers. The Saints should have got marquee. They will settle for hosting a Monday night. So the Cardinals, Dolphins, Jets, Titans, and Raiders, not one of them have a Monday Night Football game? That seems weird.
Be better.
Look at this up.
Be better.
Be better. Let's see. So the Monday Night Football games, the ones that stick out, obviously the first one that is interesting, Denver, Kansas City. That one's going to be good. Giants, Rams, Eagles, Bears. I think that'll be good. Falcons, Saints seems weird. Wow, none of those teams have a. That's crazy. I would assume every team just gets one, but again, if you're the NFL, why would you do that? Nobody cares. Nobody wants to see a Jets Cardinals Monday Night Football game. Those used to be Thursday night games. But outside of that, I think that's everything. Oh, the Thanksgiving games and the Christmas Day games. I will say, I was just shitting on the NFL for monopolizing these holidays. We've had Thanksgiving on football on Thanksgiving forever, right? Like it's a time-honored tradition. Honestly, that's the only time of the year I think there should be Thursday night football. I don't like Thursday night football. I've never liked Thursday night football. The games are real hit or miss. Last year, they were shockingly good because usually they're awful. I think this legitimately might be the best year of Thanksgiving games they've ever done.
Oh, I'm jazzed for your team. Like you guys and the Cowboys, that's gonna be a good one.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. The day starts, Thanksgiving starts with Bears at Lions.
I mean, they're forcing everybody on Thanksgiving to cheer for the Eagles. Like, ugh.
I know. And well, then the crazy thing is Bears Lions starts the day. Eagles Cowboys is at lunch. And at dinner time, it's Chiefs Bills. So
that's a great lineup. This last year, remember this last year's lineup was hot garbage.
Yeah. Well, the Christmas Day games were worse. Remember, it was like every one of them was like a blowout and against teams with great teams against bad teams. This year, it's Packers, Bears. So that could be good. Bills, Broncos, which I think will be really good. And then Rams, Seahawks. So
they got the holidays right this year.
That's what I'm saying. That we give the NFL a lot of shit, but when it came to the holiday games this year, they noticed the issue they had last year, and this year they're like, we're just going to put bangers. We're just going to put bangers. Those will be great. Outside of that, let's go to my team's schedule, Casino. I don't know. Again, when you look at the strength of schedule, I can pull this back up here. Whoop. When you look at the strength of schedule, it's going to be really hard when we make our official Super Bowl picks for me to not say Eagles Ravens. They're right there. It's right there, man.
Yeah, look at them. Circle them. Right there.
It's literally what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're 10th. So the Baltimore Ravens have the 9th easiest schedule. Philadelphia Eagles have the 10th easiest schedule. So right in,
I would say the coaching change over there is going to be the factor in Baltimore, though.
I think it's one of those things where we've seen it before, especially in the NFL, where it's like, oh, hey, guess what? The Raiders or Tampa Bay has Tony Dungy. They were a Super Bowl contending team that doesn't get to the Super Bowl. All of a sudden, they get John Gruden. 1 year wonder, he's just immediately winning the Super Bowl. Yeah. Like it just I'm not saying the coach
Vrabel gets them to the Super Bowl. Saying. McDonald, he goes and wins a Super Bowl. I mean, that was his second year though, right?
Yeah. I do. I'm a strong believer in the new coach theory. Just like a new voice.
What did I say about the Bills, man? I told you. I don't think this is a Josh Allen issue. I don't think this is a personnel issue. On the field, it's coaching, man. I really feel like it was coaching and upper management that they needed to get figured out. They needed to figure that out. Like that to me has been their biggest hurdle So maybe the new coaching change comes in, maybe gives Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson and all these players that, especially over in the AFC, just that little bit of gumpture, be like, let's go do this. And we talked about it, that the Giants, in our opinion, are probably going to be the team that does that double win total for the year, right?
Yeah, I honestly think it's going to be, I mean, looking at this schedule, the Giants, again, right there where they're right on the cusp of having a hard and easy schedule. I really think this year, if you want to go Giants double their win total and New Orleans Saints double their win total,
we'll definitely have to see, because Malik Neighbors, he is back being injured. Like they're taking more time with him. So I don't know, man. So that's not good. That's not good. They need Malik Neighbors.
But yeah, I'm looking at my team and I just go, man, Baltimore Ravens, Philadelphia Eagles. This is also the first time where every year I say this on this podcast, and every year I've been proven right because obviously I'm the football oracle, but I always say every year we get a Super Bowl matchup of teams we've already seen play in the Super Bowl before, and it's just a rinse and repeat, and we've gotten it every year. This is the first time where I don't see the path for a recent, and this is always like recent, right? Because we got Seahawks Patriots like 10 years ago. Then we got it. This is the first time where I'm looking at this and I go, there's no way in hell I see another Chiefs 49ers Super Bowl. There's no way in hell I see a Chiefs Eagles Super Bowl. Like, I'm just going like through the Rolodex and just being like, I don't see a same matchup again. This might be the first time we see two teams who have never played each other in the Super Bowl, like, play each other, because I'm not seeing the path for anybody. Now, Casino, the last thing we got to do before we get out of here, we have to unveil the first Super Bowl bubble of the year.
Hey, you stole that from Colin. Easy.
For those who are just joining us or didn't listen last season when we talked about football, Colin Cowherd, it's unequivocally true. There is zero evidence against this fact I'm about to say. We have been doing the Super Bowl bubble on this show since this show started. When you search on YouTube Super Bowl bubble and go by oldest, we're the only thing that pops up. Okay, only thing that pops up just came to it in my football brain was like, oh, Super Bowl, what could it be? It's a bubble, whatever. And so made it. And then all of a sudden, like 2 years after we were doing it, Colin Cowherd from The Herd started doing Super Bowl bubble on his show that not only looks awful and is the same concept, obviously, but he doesn't make his look like bubbles, which annoys the absolute shit out of me. It's just gray circles. Like, there's no production value, and it's an awful graphic on his show. He started doing it like 2 years ago. I'm not saying Colin Cowherd stole that from our show. I'm saying someone who works on the Colin Cowherd show stole it from our show. Because again, the logic is, would you steal it from unknowns who nobody knows, or would you steal it from people, everybody knows? You would steal it from unknowns nobody knows. And me and Casino, despite our egos, are unknowns. So this is, it annoys the ever-loving shit out of me. But
I hit a soft spot there.
Yeah, the true original what is it? Super Bowl bubble, the first one of the 2026 season. Let's talk about it, Casino. I'm bringing it up. Also, this year, I made the smart decision where usually I just download this video and it's 5 seconds and I keep after replaying it. I duplicated this over and over again for 30 minutes. So we look at it like this. Those bubbles will not stop moving for 30 minutes.
I love it.
So we're good. But because again, the bubble's moving, it looks good. Like a Super Bowl bubble. Because they're bubbles, Casino. It's not a gray piece of shit you just put a team logo in. But I wish they would have stole that, honestly. I wish they would have made it look like bubbles. But so for the people listening, here is the Super Bowl bubble. We'll go NFC teams first. I have Eagles, 49ers, Lions on the outside of the bubble. That means things kind of have to go their way in a couple certain ways, schedule-wise, avoid injuries, get some wins early, kind of find your identity to get in the actual circle, to get in the actual bubble. These are teams that I think are Super Bowl contenders if things fall in the right place. Okay. On the AFC side, I have the Houston Texans, the New England Patriots, and the Cincinnati Bengals. Again, those are the three teams outside of the Super Bowl bubble who, if things fall in their right way, they can get to the Super Bowl bubble in the middle. The Super Bowl bubble in the middle has 6 teams in it, and those 6 teams are Seattle Seahawks, Jacksonville Jaguars, Denver Broncos, Los Angeles Rams, the Buffalo Bills, and the Baltimore Ravens. So those are the 6 teams I could see right now winning the Super Bowl. Thoughts on this Super Bowl bubble, Casino? What do you like? What would you change?
I mean, the inner bubble's okay. I'm okay with the inner bubble. Man, I don't
Tell me
know,
about-
man.
Dude, the outer-
the Patriots, dude. I think there's just too much noise. I really do.
Honestly,
I really do. And it's not because of the personnel. I like what they did in the draft. I like the pieces they brought in. I obviously think that we have an elite quarterback. As long as he's protected, that dude can throw the fucking ball. And we saw that, right? Best deep ball in the game last year. We'll see, how his arm has progressed with time off and, getting that looked at, still don't know 100%, right? Until we actually see him play, if that is fully fixed. The Texans, great defense, but I mean, when you have a liability at your quarterback that outside of his first year has been abysmal.
Well, can I tell you the logic of why I put the teams on the outside that I did?
Sure.
So
you're gonna tell me anyway.
Well, no, the 3 teams I put on because I always want to keep it to where it's obviously you can't have 2 NFC teams or 2 AFC teams in the Super Bowl. So I want it to always be even, where it's like an even number of teams. The only way that changes is in the Super Bowl bubble in the middle, because obviously, I think there's far less likely teams in the NFC than in the AFC that could surprise people and go. But on the outside, I put the Eagles because I really do think my Super Bowl matchup right now is Eagles-Ravens, just based on strength of schedule, what these teams did in the offseason, all that kind of stuff. You're on mute.
Yeah, strength of schedule. Your Eagles have a stellar offense, right? What they brought in, they're going to get rid of AJ Brown, right? He's gone. Wherever he goes, he's gone. Most likely the Patriots. But with what you have, what you brought in, the best player in the best wide receiver that was in the draft, right? And then
second best, but still, I'll take it.
He's going to be good. I think he's going to be great. But dude, it's his. We'll see. I think that they should be in there personally.
And then honestly, the only reason why I put 49ers I put in there because obviously they get Mike Evans back. Their team's going to come back healthy, all that kind of stuff. They're kind of in the middle of the pack to the strength of schedule rankings. Why I put the Lions, the Texans, and the Bengals in there was because of the strength of schedule thing. Again, Bengals have 3rd easiest. Detroit has 6th easiest. Houston has 7th easiest. So again, they're going into this season. Bengals have obviously made improvements. I don't think they've made enough improvements to where they should just automatically be in the Super Bowl bubble, which I've already heard a lot of people saying Bengals are going to the Super Bowl. Same thing with Lions, where it's just like people forget Lions finished dead last in that division last year. That's why they have the 6th easiest schedule this year. But it's also one of those things where it's new coaches, new coordinators, all that kind of stuff. The Seahawks, honestly, I think the most under-talked about discussion this entire offseason is the Seahawks losing their offensive coordinator, who went to go be the head coach of, isn't he the head coach of the Raiders now? They lost that offensive coordinator to a head coaching job, and their head coach is a defensive coordinator. So again, we see Sam Darnold having to do what nobody gives Jalen Hurts credit for ever, which is just running a new style of offense every single year. So with Sam Darnold, we've only seen him have one good year his entire NFL career, and it was under this offensive coordinator. Obviously, there was also the year in Minnesota, but in one good year in terms of winning, right? Like that one good year is what took him over the hump to the Super Bowl. So now that that offensive coordinator is gone, can they replicate the same, the same thing they had last year offensively? Like, what if the Seahawks
I mean,
on the Thursday?
I don't know, man. I think they can. I think they can. I think winning the Super Bowl for Sam Darnold, I think was like just getting that monkey off his back. Pretty much just say, yo, see what I just did in 2 years? 2 back-to-back 14 win during the regular season, and then I go win a Super Bowl, and I was damn near perfect doing it. So, like, I think that should calm him down, a lot. And if he has an okay season, this year, just be like, you know what, Super Bowl slump, right? It happens. Like, that's a real thing. It's a real thing. You see a lot of most teams, fall into that. Whether, not saying they don't get back to the Super Bowl, but they will struggle a little bit more. So,
well, it's also, again, the Seahawks are atop of the Super Bowl bubble. So I still think as of right now, they're the most obvious pick to go back to the Super Bowl. Right now, you can throw in all the stuff of repeating's hard. They're obviously, their schedule's much harder this year, blah, 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 blah. They're in a tough division. But then the other teams, honestly, with the Jaguars, it was kind of between, do I put the Jaguars or the Tampa Bay Bucks in this one? I think I still should put the Tampa Bay Bucks where the 49ers are, just because but again, Mike Evans was a huge loss. I don't know how much more I trust that Bucks coaching staff than I do that 49ers coaching staff. So that's why they kind of just edged them out a little. But the other ones in the middle, I mean, Rams, I feel like is going to be a lot of people's Super Bowl pick. I feel like that one is an obvious one as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Same with Broncos, because again, what happened before Bo Nix got out, it looked like they were already going there. And then obviously it's always Bills and Ravens because they have Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson.
2 really good quarterbacks, but they can't get over the hump.
No. And now the noticeable absence, Casino, is the Chiefs. But
no, it's not.
But again, you and I had this discussion earlier on the podcast, so go listen to that because I'm probably going to cut this part up and just put it on the YouTube as a separate clip. But we talked about this earlier in the show where, again, everything went wrong for the Chiefs last year in the sense of how they were losing games, but that team was complete. They had all their star players. They had all their pieces on the field, and they still finished 6-11. So this year, it's like they got Kenneth Walker. I don't think Kenneth Walker is going to swing this team in the right direction to where all of a sudden Kenneth Walker is plus 4 to 5 games for this team to now all of a sudden they're back in the Super Bowl, especially with them having the 5th hardest schedule this year. And now I know Patriots have the 6th hardest, but again, we just saw this Patriots team go to the Super Bowl. And by all accounts, they're going to get an A+ star wide receiver to add to this team in AJ Brown in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
June 1st.
And, call me crazy, but people aren't picking up Diggs. People aren't.
That's true.
But they might not. Maybe the Patriots will be like, hey, if you want to play football this year, you're going to come in and you're going to be a support role. But just imagine you and AJ Brown. Just imagine, do you want to just take a team-friendly deal, come back, go back to the Super Bowl, have another shot at it?
Well, honestly, at this point, where else could he go?
That's my point. That's my whole point with that is like, I mean, my brother and the Patriot chat that I'm in, they're like, oh, he's going to be too expensive. He's going to ask for a lot. It's like, well, it's either that, take the team-friendly deal, or don't play football this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I think he's going to want to play football this year and stay away from all of his newborn kids because he's going to be losing his mind trying to juggle 4 baby mamas and 4 babies at one time.
Honestly, why doesn't he
be like, oh, well, I got work. I gotta pay. I gotta pay for you guys.
Dude, also, if you're Stephon Diggs, who's obviously had success in this league as a wide receiver, why do you just not? Why at this point are you not just ring chasing? Like, why aren't you just being like, hey, I'll play for Josh Allen, I'll play for Lamar Jackson, I'll go to the Chiefs and play for Mahomes. Like, just go down the list of the best wide receivers in the league and just go play with the Rams.
And I think he would be a great asset on the team.
Just not a
And
number one option.
no,
Just
but he would be a great asset on the team, and he would bring something to the table for the person that he needs to bring the table for the most, which is Mike Vrabel, and to teach him how to, handle all of his business and not, have it all out there. So,
yeah.
um, nothing to do with helping out Drake May or anything, but just so he can come back and help out Mike Vrabel. But
Well, now him and Vrabel have stories they can swap.
dude, yeah,
I mean, now that everything's out in the open, just be like, hey, get over here. Like Diggs is going to walk in there and just be like, I didn't know you were this dude. Now our relationship has blossomed. Like, give me all the deets. But honestly, if I was Diggs, you heard the rumors about the Rams
number.
Yeah. You've heard all these rumors about the Rams who were trying to trade for AJ Brown. They're looking for another wide receiver. Go there. You and Puka Nacua can be the most insane wide receiver group in the league.
When you win your ring, you would win your ring, dude. Again, the Rams are a front runner for the Super Bowl this year. You go there with what they have already, and if Stafford has even a glimpse of what he had last year, dude, you're winning a Super Bowl, man.
Yeah. Now this has been the first Super Bowl bubble after schedule release, draft, free agency, all that kind of stuff. The teams I'm looking at before the start of preseason that could potentially move up, it would be Tampa Bay, I think could really be in here. I think the Colts can really be in here. I think what is it? Maybe a sneaky pick would be the Saints if we just get on that early. Outside of that, maybe again, I'm not going down the Falcon road again. I keep seeing people just be like, New York's going to be the Giants are going to be a sneaky playoff team. I don't know about that.
I think they'll get to the playoffs.
That's going to be your pick.
I think they can make it into the wild card spot. I really do.
See, I honestly, I would have more faith in the Giants this
all,
year than the Cowboys.
It all depends on the health of their team, right? Scadaboo's coming back from injury.
Yeah.
Jackson Dart, he runs head first, which isn't the smartest thing, right? Stop headbutting your teammates, you two. Like, just stop doing it. And then Malik Neighbors now saying that he's going to take even longer to get back in. We'll see. They have such a high potential, but if their three studs aren't there, hooey.
Yeah. And then last one, I feel like people are going to give shit about if we don't talk about them. The Los Angeles Chargers.
Who?
They have the 9th hardest schedule in the league. If I don't think the Chiefs are making the playoffs, I just don't think the Chargers are either. Again, the Chargers are just one of those teams.
You really think only one comes out of that division?
Honestly, I think it's going to be the Broncos. Yeah, because you look at the rest of the AFC.
What did I say last year? Chiefs don't make the playoffs. Broncos win the division.
Yeah,
we might be sitting in that same boat again.
Or who knows? Again, the Raiders.
I got right with Seattle winning the division. I told you they were going to be good. I loved what they did in the offseason. They end up going win the Super Bowl. Like, bro.
No, see, and then I was going to make a case for the Raiders, but the Raiders got screwed. They have the 7th hardest schedule in the league. They got the number 1 pick last year.
I am so excited to see what they can do with Mendoza. And is Mendoza the most talented guy on the field? Is he going to be the most talented? Hell no. But he is such a fighter, a gritty player. He wants to go out there and win, which could be good, could be bad, right? He could get himself injured. But I watching his whole last season in college, that dude loves to win. He's got a mentality that I would compare to just from watching. He has that mentality that I would compare to, Manning, Brady. Rodgers doesn't want to win rings. He just cares about, MVPs. But still, like that drive to win, that kind of thing. I mean, look at Drake May. A lot of people's thing on him is, he can be a Josh Allen player when he needs to be, but that dude is out there and he is focused. He wants to play the game. He shows up in just regular street clothes. He's not trying to get all fancy. He goes out there and plays, right? Obviously, just comparing him to what I know more of. But Mendoza is going to be fun to watch. He's wants to play ball. He wants to learn. He wants to be that player. And I'm going to respect the hell out of that. And hopefully it turns into wins for the Raiders. I really hope it does.
Honestly,
I want to see him do well. I want Crosby to go out there and just run over people, pissed off as shit. I want to see Brock Bowers just be the next tight end that just runs over the league and it's just like nobody can touch him. No, I mean he's damn near there, but I want to see more of it.
Honestly, if I was the Eagles front office, the Raiders would be the team that I would be trying to trade AJ Brown to. Because you look at the Raiders right now, you go, I kind of like their defense, especially they got Max Crosby. I always loved Nakobe Dean when he was with the Eagles. They have a lot of pieces on defense that I like. I think they can be a middle tier defense that helps them win games. They obviously shored up that offensive line, adding Tyler Lindenbaum, all these other guys. Like you said, they have Brock Bowers. When he plays, potentially the best tight end in the league. They got Ashton Genty last year, obviously got a new quarterback this year. The only part of the Raiders you don't like is when you look at their wide receivers and it's Jalen Nair, Trey Tucker, Jack. So those are their 3 starting wide receivers where right now, if you took those 3 guys, they would potentially be wide receiver 3 on most teams in the league.
3 or 4. Hell yeah.
So if I'm the Eagles, I just am looking at the field of teams and I just go,
yeah,
what draft picks would I get the best?
Because I'm not saying again, you hit up Diggs, dude. You hit up Diggs.
That's what I'm saying. Bring in AJ Brown and Diggs. Like, yeah, they're both going to be probably annoying people in the locker room, but it's going to be when you get to the field.
If the Pats can figure it out and they can pull out both of them and get them both to happy in a sense. And if Vrabel can just somehow keep that locker room, which is a big, tall ask, we'll find that out.
Yeah.
But, maybe the front office just talks to him and leaves Vrabel out of it and just be like, hey, so here's the deal. We're going with Vrabel. And, if things turn south, there's this really good guy that has never had a losing season sitting on the bench waiting to be called up.
Yeah. Well, but again, all the wide receivers I just named for the Raiders, if I said you get those 3 plus you get AJ Brown and Stephon Diggs, you would 100% take the second option where you have 2 potential people that can tear the team in their locker room apart, as opposed to 3 guys who you just go, I have no faith in any of them to help us win games. Like, it's just, again, with a rookie quarterback, like, I just think it would work. We saw the evolution of Josh Allen from rookie quarterback to all-star, and kind of Stephon Diggs was like the gap, was like the thing that took him from one to the next. Mm-hmm. So same with AJ Brown.
And look what Diggs did with a young quarterback this last year, right?
That's what I'm saying. Sign him again with AJ Brown. You can sign him for 3-4 years. Diggs, do a 1-year prove it contract, and just, again, you're a team that just had the number 1 pick. There's no expectations. You have a rookie quarterback. You got good people in the locker room with Cousins and Mendoza, who seem like quarterbacks.
You don't have to be the third down guy every single go-to. You have Brock Bowers, like,
yeah,
let's go. You have Genty, like, depending if it's like a 3rd and 2 or something.
And again, if you're the Eagles, would you rather have the draft picks in the future of the team that just went to the Super Bowl or the team that just had the number 1 pick? Like, the return on investment says you would rather have the Raiders draft picks. Again, because you look at the strength of schedule, the Raiders and your Patriots are 7-8. So it's not like they're far apart from each other, despite one going to the Super Bowl, one getting the 1st round pick. So final look at the Super Bowl bubble. Let me know what teams should be in there. Again, if you're going to comment, the teams on the outside are not in the Super Bowl bubble. Those are the 3 teams in the NFC, the 3 teams in the AFC that, if things go their way, I think could morph and combine into the bubble in the middle. The real Super Bowl teams are the 6 teams in the middle. And that, once again, was the Seahawks, the Jaguars, the Rams, the Broncos, the Bills, the Ravens. So right now, I think just based on that matchup, I think I would have to say probably Seahawks, Broncos would be the Super Bowl matchup I think could happen. Seahawks, Broncos, maybe Seahawks, Bills, Seahawks, Ravens, maybe Rams.
Again,
Rams, Ravens.
Obviously, I would love my Pats there, but I would love to see. Honestly, I would love to see any of those AFC teams in there outside of the Texans. Oh, even the Texans, because they've never
Yeah.
But I love the quarterbacks I love the quarterbacks on almost all of those teams, right? I mean, Trevor Lawrence, he's okay, but I love Lamar. I love Lamar Jackson. I love Josh Allen. I love Joe Burrow. Like,
Even Bo
ugh,
Nix is fun. I like Bo Nix. He's a fun guy to watch because it's like he's either going to do the most insane throw you've ever seen or just the worst throw you've ever seen. It's again, last thing, and then we'll end on this casino. Let's take our teams out of it because obviously
mhm.
every football fan wants to always see their teams in the Super Bowl, blah, blah, blah. If you right now could be an NFL script writer and pick your perfect Super Bowl, can't have your team in it, obviously. Perfect Super Bowl that you think the masses would want to watch involving all these teams. Now, obviously, also the other team not mentioned in here, the Bears, which would be a fun team.
I would
but I only
say
put them
Lions
in our schedule.
Bills.
Lions Bills. That would be your matchup. Yeah, I think honestly,
Lions and Bills, because neither one have got it, and I would love to see it. I would want to see it.
honestly, that's yeah. I was gonna
It's a good one.
say Rams Bills, but you're right with the Lions never being there. I would like to see a Super Bowl where it's like neither of these teams have ever won a Super Bowl, so
Yeah, I
somebody's
wanna
gonna
see
be
it.
like really happy.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
want to see
I agree.
nothing but tears in the stadium, whether they're happy or sad, because I love both. It's great.
Yeah. Wait,
Sad
how many
fans would make me happy.
teams do you think have never won a Super Bowl?
I think it's like 6 of them, 7 of them,
I think
8 of
it
them.
is teams that never won a Super Bowl. There are 12.
There it is.
12
Quite a
teams
bit.
that's never won a Super Bowl.
Quite a bit.
So
I
never
might have been thinking of ones that have never been.
So never been to the Super Bowl have been Browns, Lions, Texans, Jags.
Okay, 4.
Reach the Super Bowl but lost would be Cardinals, Falcons, Bills, Panthers, Bengals, Chargers, Vikings, Titans.
Panthers
Also, I
would've-
wouldn't.
The Panthers would have had it, man. The Panthers would have had it if dumbass would have just jumped on the ball.
Well, honestly, it's Panthers could have had one, Cardinals could have had one, Falcons. Obviously, we saw how that happened. Could have had one. Bengals could have had one.
It was one of the greatest.
And
days of my
Titans could have
life.
had one. So that's
I think I told you this. Maybe I didn't. But I won the fourth quarter squares that we did, and like we put in a lot of money, and I only won because it went into OT.
really
Yeah,
damn. That's cool.
yeah, because it was because it counted the fourth quarter like it was like game final is how we did. It was like 1, 2, 3 game final, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I ended up winning because of OT.
Awesome. So as far
I was
as
absolutely hammered. I didn't know I won until like a half hour later, and everybody was like, you won, right?" And I was like, "No, I don't care. I'm covered in champagne." I was like, "No, I don't know. I don't care. I'm okay."
I'll tell you what, the teams that have never reached the Super Bowl and never won a Super Bowl, you can kind of make a case for Lions, Texans, Jags, Bills, Bengals, Chargers for this year to be those teams that could potentially win the Super Bowl. But
yeah, my matchup though, because I have friends
that is good. Bills,
Hey,
Lions.
I have way more Bills fans than I should. And
But
then
also
one of my dear friends is a Lions fan. He actually went to that championship game with his dad and his whole fucking family. And so that was disappointing that they didn't make the Super Bowl. But he was like, we still had a blast. Like our team was there. Like they were in the conference championship and they played well. Like he was just jazzed about that. So it would be
honestly
cool to see them go.
The last thing I have on that is, do you think a Bills Lions Super Bowl would actually be too sad because then everybody would have the rooting interest would be split in who they like more to win their first Super Bowl?
That's why I would love it because of the amount of fans crying for whichever reason, and I will point and laugh at all those sad fans, and then I will cry happy tears for the happy fans.
That's true. I forgot you're a monster.
I will cry laughing from the fans that lost.
We've also we're in the era right now where Eagles lose a heartbreaking Super Bowl matchup to the Chiefs, come back years later, blow the doors off them, right? Patriots or Seahawks lose a devastating game to the Patriots, come back, blow the doors off them. Is there a team this year that had a devastating Super Bowl loss that is going to avenge it by blowing the doors off? Honestly, only thing I can think of is Bengals Rams. Could we potentially see Bengals just beating the shit out of the Rams in the Super Bowl to right the wrongs? I mean, they would win their first Super Bowl that way. So maybe,
I don't know.
Maybe pencil that in. Anything else, Casino, before we get out of here?
No, I need to go play princess dress up with my daughter. She's got a tiara waiting for
with your daughter. Okay.
That's why she kept coming in the room. She was just like, "Can we go play?" And I was like, "After the podcast, whatever you want." And she was like, "Yeah, we're gonna play princess. You're gonna wear a tiara." I already got down her little fake makeup kit. It's not real, fake makeup kit.
Well, I mean, it is Fairy Fridays, so that's what you got to do.
So
it's Fairy Fridays here on the Only Sports
Go do
podcast.
that. That's gonna be fun. I'm gonna have a blast.
There you go. This has been the NFL schedule release. We were going to do best games. I feel like every year we do that, it's just always the same shit, right? It's always just like, we want to see Chiefs, Bills.
It's holiday games.
Your holiday games are good.
Those are going to be the best games because you're going to be with family for the most part. And it's going to be a good time. You'll be just eating a shit ton of food. You'll have new presents or gifts or whatever you do with your holidays. And yeah, those are going to be great games just because it's not just going to be like a regular Sunday night. It's like, oh, do I go out before I have to go back to work the next day? I don't know. Like these are, you have nothing to do the next day kind of situation for most people. And those are going to be the best games. All of them.
Do you have a most anticipated game for your team? Like the game you're looking forward to the most? Because for me, for the Eagles, I'm looking forward to playing the Bears again the most because I feel like the Bears were the one team last year that just kind of embarrassed the Eagles and like figured them out. So I want to see what an entire season and off season of Vic Fangio thinking about how he got decimated by the Bears. Like, what that leads to.
I would probably say the Patriots Chiefs game. I would love for the Pats to go in to Kansas City and just
that's right.
Punch him in the face and just say, "You guys, you're done. Like, go away. Go. You're done. You're done."
Like the final nail in the Chiefs Patriots rivalry kind of thing.
Yeah,
or not. Like, I guess not the final.
It's just like we're back. We're back. You're done.
Thanks for keeping the seat warm. Like, get out of here.
Seat warm. Get out of here. And again, I don't dislike Mahomes. I don't dislike Andy Reid. I actually love Andy Reid. I think he's a brilliant dude. I hate Travis Kelce, but like just his antic. You know that. Like, it's just funny to say because I'm a Gronk fan, but whatever. But yeah, I think that's the game that I would love for the Pats just to go into Kansas City December 21st at 5:15 p.m. Pacific time and kick the living shit out of them.
Yeah. And then again, as an Eagles fan, I kept saying I was going to talk about their schedule and then didn't. We're playing the NFC West this year, so it feels like the Eagles are just in the NFC West because every single year they just play the Rams and 49ers. So we're playing the Rams and 49ers again. I think Eagles Seahawks is going to be good. Obviously Eagles Cowboys on Thanksgiving, and then I think
the holiday games are going to be the best games.
Yeah, I think a sneaky good game is going to be New Year's Eve, Texans-Eagles in Philadelphia. I think that'll be a sneaky good one. Other than that, the one I'm most excited for is against the Bears on Monday Night Football, Week 3. I think that's going to be fantastic. So other than that, Casino, let's get out of here. Again, since we last recorded, a lot of NBA games. Well, not a lot of NBA games. Only one NBA game. And
the Knights advanced.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Watch that game. It was a blowout. And then,
the coolest part about that game, and not just because we're going to, it's the Knights and we're going to talk about them, but what I love about that game was Brett Howden, who is now leading the postseason with goals for players. The Knights have had 4 shorthanded goals in the postseason. 3 of them have come from Brett Howden.
That is crazy.
He had like, I don't know the exact number off the top of my head. I think it was like 12 goals the entire regular season, and he has 8 in the postseason. 3 are shorthanded. Dude has stepped up.
Yeah. And then tonight in the NBA, we could potentially have 2 closeout games with Detroit and Cleveland, and then San Antonio, Minnesota. If San Antonio wins, they advance. If Cleveland wins, they advance. I think Cleveland, Detroit goes 7. I think San Antonio closes out Minnesota.
Yeah. So the last thing for the hockey is you have the Sabres and Canadiens. They have Game 6 tomorrow. That's the last series that has not been closed out. The Avalanche have moved forward, winning an OT the other day against the Wild. So Avs moved on. Hurricanes obviously did the first time in NHL postseason history where they are 8-0. They swept their first 2 series. And then now it's going back into Montreal, where the Canadiens can, and I'm going to pencil them into sealing it up in Game 6 on home ice and calling it that, and going to play the Hurricanes in the conference finals. But pretty much, I'm right there with where I said, man, the Knights
and the Hurricanes.
The Knights, the Canes. Again, the East, I had the Lightning probably being Lightning Canes, is kind of what I was looking forward to for the conference finals there, but that didn't work out. So, I mean, there's 3 teams that I pretty much was like, yeah, these are the teams that should win the cup this year. And they're all advanced. So
yeah,
let's go.
Last thing on the NFL schedule, I just found this. The Eagles and Chargers are the only teams in the NFL to play 4 teams coming off a bye week this season. 14 teams don't even face an opponent coming off a bye week. So that's fun. That's a nice little fact to go there. My team playing 4 teams off a bye. Nice. This has been the Only Sports Podcast, Casino.
Officially,
we'll be back. We'll be back Monday to talk about probably more NFL stuff, but obviously touch on who wins in these NBA playoffs, who wins in these NHL playoffs, what the conference finals look like, and whatever else happens. So I'm Will. That's Casino over there. I don't think I've put up our things once the entire episode. There we go. I'm Will. That's Casino over there. This has been the Only Sports Podcast. Adios.